Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our third episode of HTLC Check-in, our church check-in on Wednesday nights. As you know now, Sundays we have a worship service at 9 a.m. that's premiered then, but you can watch it anytime in the week. And then Wednesdays we have this informal check-in where we check in on what's happening at the church, check in with each other, and check in on ways that we can help. And I apologize. I am out of hair gel, so I feel a little bit unkept today, but hopefully by next week it will come. So it's informal tonight, and we want to welcome you to our church check-in.
This past weekend, thanks for joining us for a Creation Care themed worship service. And a special thank you to Scott Mockentune, who shared a message with us about what it means to till and keep in our day and age. You did a great job, and we're just so thankful. So I hope this last week you got to experience the beauty of the earth as part of Earth Day as we celebrated the earth God has created. We're certainly all getting plenty of screen time, I'm sure, so it's great to just get out and enjoy the beauty of the earth around us. I do have to say, we heard from one individual who I think takes the cake for how she worshiped with us on Earth Day. So she gave us permission to share it, and we want to share it with you today.
What better way to watch Earth Day church than from the comfort of your kayak on a beautiful morning?
Thank you, Dana. I would say you win Earth Day this year. Congratulations. Well done, and thanks for submitting us your clip. This next weekend, we are going to have a service geared towards mental health. This is something we had planned actually a long time ago, and then COVID-19 makes us even more aware of how this is a pertinent time to talk about our mental health. NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is partnering with a national movement to raise awareness about mental health in the month of May. So we want to do our part as a church to fight stigma, to provide support, and to reflect on how our faith can support people with mental illness and their families. So especially this year, we want to pay attention to mental health. Now, Alicia, this is something you care a lot about, actually something that you focus on in your studies in college. So we care deeply about this as a family, and we invite you to be a part of worship this Sunday. And I'll say this, we'll have a few special guests. One is Brian Connolly of the Duck Cup Memorial, who will join us for a Zoom conversation with a group of 6th grade boys and their confirmation leader, Troy Fleechek, because they've got a presentation for Duck Cup Memorial. So we've also got a good friend of ours, Will Starkweather, popping in as well. Will is a friend of ours from seminary, and he's a pastor down in Texas. And he actually was a keynote speaker at the last National Youth Gathering. And so you might have heard us talk about him from there, but he got to know our students who went down to Texas. And he's going to come to help us with our service this upcoming weekend as well. So to get a glimpse of Will's talk at the last youth gathering, here's just a quick clip of that presentation.
Now I hope that before tonight, someone has modeled grace for you. And someone has extended grace to you. But I know that some of y'all have been rejected. I know that some of y'all have hidden your hurt for fear of what others might say. And if that's you tonight in this crowd, I'm encouraging you to find someone you trust and tell them your story. A pastor, a youth leader, a doctor, a teacher, maybe even your parents. If that doesn't feel safe, ask a friend to go with you. Because I know that it's a risk to share your story. But I also know that it's a risk that is so worth taking. Whatever it is you're carrying tonight, I can promise you this. There's grace for that. By the grace of God, you are what you are, beloved child of God. And God's grace toward you has not and will not be in vain. Because grace changes everything.
So that was a quick clip of Pastor Will Starkweather's presentation down at the National Youth Gathering, and you can search for the full clip if you'd like to watch his full talk on YouTube.
Now, this will be an important week for worship. And so this week especially, we invite you to share services with others that you know, particularly those who may be struggling. But also keep an eye out simply for those who you haven't heard from much lately. You can help by just checking in, asking, how are you doing? And speaking of helping, we want you to know you continue to be doing a fantastic job with a little free food pantry. It continues to be full and empty, and we want to just say thank you. Please pass the word on also for any who may need it. And we just want to thank you for responding in a clear time of need.
Speaking of serving food, the school district is expanding its meal pickup options rather than just having the food available at either Ravenstream or Eagleview. Starting today, actually, from 11 to 11:20 each day, the New Prague Area Schools Nutrition Services has offered to be in our parking lot so that students school-aged and younger in our neighborhood can access meals who may not be able to travel to those schools in particular. So we ask that you honor the government's direction to maintain social distance with these students and school employees if you're not receiving the food yourself. And as we all find ourselves in the midst of COVID-19, one way that we can help this week is with our prayer shawl ministry. So the Fish Network has reached out and asked for help. And so Kate Kino and Kim Gassner are going to be available for a conversation for us today to tell us about a way that we can lend a hand to the greater community. So let's get them connected here. Okay, so today we are talking about ministry opportunity. And so thank you, Kate and Kim, for jumping in. So if you don't know you, tell us about who you are real quick.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Kate Kino, and we have been members of Holy Trinity, 2013-ish, when we moved to New Prague. My husband Tyler and I have 2 boys, a 4th grader and a 1st grader, and knitting is something that my grandma taught me to do a long time ago. And during the call process for Pastor Ben and Pastor Alicia, I found out that Kim was also a knitter, and so we restarted the prayer shawl ministry at Holy Trinity.
Love it.
All right, I'm Kim Gassner, and honestly, I don't know when I joined the church. I've attended since I moved to New Prague in 2000, but I really don't know when I officially became a member. But so I'm on 20 years of attending Holy Trinity. My husband Brian and I attend the Wednesday night service typically, and we have grown children, a boy Tyler and a girl Sarah, and knitting is a passion. So when Kate asked me to start the prayer shawl ministry, I jumped all over it.
Right now, we kind of want to invite all of you to participate if you want to. The Fish Network in Scott County had reached out to Pastor Ben. They have been receiving some requests for prayer shawls and are asking area churches if they would be willing to make some and donate to their ministry. And so because we're kind of all at home, we wanted to make it more accessible to everybody. So you can knit, you can crochet. It's really up to you in terms of what pattern you want to use. If you want recommendations, we're happy to give them. But Kim and I have decided we're gonna go to church and get our stash of yarn and keep it at both of our homes. And so we're gonna be offering pickup and delivery services. So if you have finished prayer shawls that you want to give to the church, you can let the church office know, and then they will get in touch with either Kim or myself, and we will come pick them up completely contact free.
Yep.
You can just stick them in a bag on your front door. And then if you're in need of yarn, we are happy to deliver that as well. So you can, again, contact the church office and let them know how much yarn, or if there's specific colors you're thinking of, we can try to find that for you. And again, can drop it off in a plastic bag on your front door.
So these particular prayer shawls will go to COVID patients, but also potentially family members who feel the heaviness of not being able to be with their family member right now. And so as we hear about the loneliness and isolation of COVID patients and their family, these prayer shawls will comfort them. And I think this is a really tangible and really meaningful way that we can be the church in the world during this time. So someone wants to be a part of it, they contact the church office, and we'll get them connected to you, and then you'll distribute. And the Fish Network, which contacted us, will get them to the people in particular. Anything else people need to know?
Just if you have prayer shawl requests yourself, you can let the church office know as well. And really, there's no limitations what those needs are for, whether it's for just comfort, mental health, if you've had someone that you've lost or someone that's working through COVID-19 or an illness right now, there's no questions asked. So please reach out.
Absolutely. And now that you're all self-quarantined, it's a good time to learn how to knit or crochet. If you haven't done it, go on YouTube and teach yourself and get some yarn from us. We can always use more people in our ministry.
Okay, so besides cheering on the Gophers, Kim, what's something that you've been doing during this season of self-isolation?
Well, you know what, Ben? I'm lucky enough that I'm still working full-time. I'm just doing it from home. So I haven't gotten very many projects done, although I have, we have been doing a lot of cooking, so, and doing some knitting at night.
And how about you, Kate? How are the kinos?
We are doing really good. Just both of us are feeling really blessed to still be working. We're all at home right now. So Tyler and I are both working from home, and the boys are doing their distance learning. So lots of outside time, lots of sunshine. We're okay with, it's raining today, but we need that too. So yeah, just finding things to do and spending time together, getting knitting done, of course, because that's what we do. So.
Yeah. Well, we miss you both, and it's good to see you.
We miss you too, you and Alicia and the girls.
Yeah. Thanks for checking in today, but thanks for leading this ministry too, especially in this new format. I think this will be really a difference maker, and I appreciate your stepping up to the plate.
Thank you, Kim and Kate. Kate was one of our photographers for the front porch photo shoot this past weekend, and we're so excited. These pictures have been turning out great. There's been such a positive response, though. We're going to actually do a little bit more this weekend. So we have some more pictures lined up this weekend, so you have to wait until next week to see the pictures here online. But we can say, thanks to all of you, the project has raised over $1,800 through these front porch donations. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is making a difference not only for Holy Trinity's ministry, but for ways we can support the community. So thanks. Speaking of finances, today we're going to welcome Jesse Heeman to check in with us, to share with us how we're doing as a church financially. Jesse Heeman is on church council, and he serves as our current treasurer. First and foremost, Jesse, how are you and your family doing during this time?
Good. I'm working from home. My wife teaches kindergarten. She's also working from home. That's an adjustment for her. But the kids, doing school from home, they've actually adjusted really well. And overall, I think it's been nice to have a lot more family time. So challenges, but also some positives too.
Yeah. Often they come together. Well, thanks for sharing that. I can't imagine, as I've mentioned before, I can't imagine what this time feels like for kindergartners or teaching that age, but I'm sure, like I've said, if anybody can do it, she can. So wish her my best. How about also as a church? How are we doing as a church financially right now?
We're doing okay. Year-to-date revenues are down quite a bit. March was down from the budget perspective, more so than February, but a continuation of weaker anticipated contributions. So year-to-date contributions are down 14,000, or about 11% from what we had budgeted. And on the expense side, our expenses in year-to-date through March were almost 8,000 lower than expected. So that's 16% lower than budget. So that's a positive. But net, we do have a year-to-date deficit of 16,000 versus a budget of 10,000 deficit through March. So the contributions are lower than expected, and hopefully we see that pick up. On a positive note, we did have 15 new e-givers sign up in March. So that should help cover operating costs and whatnot, having more consistent income stream. And then we also had 12 additional ones sign up through the first half of April. So that's all positive. And it looks like through the first few weeks of April that contributions did increase. So, hopefully that continues, and, we round out the year in good shape.
Well, thanks for that update. And thank you to everyone who may have been holding back, but took a risk and took that step forward with e-giving. That does make a huge difference. So thank you. And on a big picture note, we know a lot of people are going through highs and lows, but thanks for those of you who are able, for your generosity during this time. It makes a huge difference. So thank you for your faithfulness. And thank you, Jesse, for being with us tonight and giving everybody a chance to get to know who you are in leadership. We're grateful for all that you're doing for the church, especially this year during this time. So thank you, Jesse.
Yep.
This week, we had a finance team meeting that reviewed our current landscape and projections financially. And one other piece we want to share with you that we are grateful for is Holy Trinity is able to participate in the payroll protection program through the CARES Act. And on top of your continued generosity, we trust that God will continue to provide for our congregation moving forward. But today we just want to say thank you. I know a number of people have reached out to say they cannot continue their giving at this time due to present circumstances, and we want to care and support you. I'll also say that some people have stepped up their giving knowing this, knowing others have had to step back, and that's inspiring. So we just want to say thank you.
So we've got an exciting story for today. But before we jump to that, Miriam wanted to show you her obstacle course down in the playroom. And so Miriam is going to show us how she's been exercising downstairs. So let's watch. Okay, everybody, Miriam is going to show you how she does the obstacle course in the playroom. And Joey's going to watch from up there, and hopefully she won't fall down the stairs. Okay, Miriam, you ready? Yeah. Let's see it. Go! Zig, 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 zig. Jump! Jump! Step, 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 step. Up, 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 up. And here it comes around the side. And they both go down the slide. Oh, good job! Thank you, Miriam. Now, Joanna wanted to show you that she could do it as well. She doesn't do the full obstacle course, but she starts on the steps. So let's watch Joanna do her part. Doing, Joey? Do you want to make a video, Joey? Say hi. You want it right here? Say hi. You showing off your tongue, Joey? Yeah. You want to show them your rock wall climbing? Oh, good job, Joey. Miriam can do it, and you can too, can't you? Climbing up that wall. Good job, Joey. Are you gonna go down the slide now? Yeah. Here she comes. Here she comes. Ah! Good thing I caught you, huh? Okay, thank you for joining us down in the playroom for a little bit of fun. Now, for our exciting news for today, we get to tell you about a development for our Director of Youth Ministry. With that, we'll invite the task force to check in with us here. So let's get that meeting started. We've got the team here that was the task force to find us a Director of Youth Ministry. And before we begin, we'll just back up here. The process was this last fall, the council approved hiring a full-time director of youth ministry. And then in December, we had a successful drive to help kickstart our ability to take that next step financially as a church. In January, the congregation approved the budget, which included this position, and endorsed this next step as a congregation. And since then, this team was formed. So for those who don't know, I'd like to invite you to introduce yourself. And yeah, so who are you all? We'll start with the chair of the team.
Okay. Well, I'm Jamie Snuka, and I had the pleasure and privilege of working with this awesome group of people. I have kids in all different levels of the church, so high school, middle school, confirmation, crew time. So it's been really fun and personal and meaningful to be part of this process. So it's been awesome.
And my name is Jamie Physik. I'm the office manager, and I came in on a staff end of things, and it's been a great experience working with this team, getting to know the candidates, and it was a great joy. I enjoyed it very much.
And I'm Sandy Gennaker, and I am on the church council. Been a member of Holy Trinity for many, many years, and seen lots of different programs come and go. So I was really excited to be a part of this team.
My name is Tim Dittburner, and I'm also a representative of the church council. And obviously, being in the school business myself, I know the importance of the impact, the positive impact we can have on our youth, our children, in regards to education, especially ministry.
I'm Alice Price, and I was really grateful to be on this team. And I help out with our children, youth, and family ministry, and I help with crew time. And I have two boys, one in high school and one in elementary school. So we are very excited about our new youth minister.
Which is really exciting. So last week at the church council, we reviewed the feasibility of adding this position just because we felt like it was our due diligence to have this conversation, even though we approved it back in the fall, and we had congregational approval. Since then, this global pandemic has hit us. But even in the midst of this, the council unanimously supported moving forward. And I think this is a testament to this congregation's desire to continue to invest in a number of ways in the faith formation of future generations and the current generation. So with that, I want you to tell me and to tell our church a little bit about this person who we received news accepted our offer to join the Holy Trinity team. So tell us about her.
Okay, well, I'll start. So her name is Kacie, and she actually graduating from college, and with a degree in theology, and I'm on the spot right now and I can't remember her exact degree, but we just felt like she was such a good fit for what we're looking for in terms of her background. She has served as a camp counselor with the middle school age and high school age, and she's really active on her campus with ministry, and grew up in a small town at an ELCA church, so she's got some really great background about her too. And we just felt that she had the poise and professionalism and maturity and creativity and all of that we think would be awesome for our program.
So Tim, you do some hiring in the district once in a while. Why did you get excited about Kacie?
Oh, I just think, well, sort of what Jamie said. I think the total package she's got. She's smart, she's committed, she's hardworking. You can just tell, and she's mature. But I think she's the type of person that's going to be able to connect with our kids, whether they're our senior high students or middle school, elementary, preschool. I don't care. She's just got a personality that I think is going to draw people our program and church, and yeah, I if, you know, Ben, if you guys didn't hire her, I was going to find a position at the school district.
That's
I love
true. He was.
You did say that.
Yep.
that. So Jamie, you popped in and you have the perspective from a staff person. And why do you think she'll be a good fit with our staff?
You know, she came to the interview extremely prepared. She had full list of questions for us, which I thought was great. She had done her research, looking at our website and that kind of stuff. She had watched some of the church services. She wasn't afraid to get into the website and check things out and learn more about us. And she's full of energy and just this bubbly person. She's going to work out great.
Now, Sandy, you mentioned this, but you've been through the ups and downs of Holy Trinity's past. And what's one hope that you have as we welcome Kacie to Holy Trinity? What's one way that, based on what you've learned through the years, how can we begin this chapter really in a positive way? How can we support her in the work that she's called to do? What do you think?
Well, I think that Holy Trinity is a congregation that is already very welcoming and open to others. And I think one of our strong points are all the volunteers. And when Kacie is going to need some volunteers, I don't think she's going to have any trouble. But that's one way we can help her is through the volunteering. And I also know that her minor was in theater and arts management. And those type of people generally have lots of creativity. And I really believe that Kacie's going to bring that to us.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And Alice, when I talked to you, I believe you said something about how what stood out to you was her faith. And it seems like, oh yeah, you should expect that with this, but that's not always actually the case. And sometimes when you have somebody who has a sincere faith, that teaches in itself. So do you want to comment on kind of how that impacted you in that interview?
Yeah, one of the things that first struck me was that she mentioned that she was led by the Holy Spirit, that she used prayer for guidance, that you could really hear Christ inside of her coming out. Mm-hmm. And it was moving to me. Like I really was drawn to her because of her, just the faith that I felt coming out of her and the love of God that I felt coming out of her. It felt wonderful to me. And I'm really excited about her passing that on to our children. I think she's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I do feel like God's hand's been a part of this process, and I thank each of you for being a part of this team and for helping discern this step on behalf of our whole church. Is there anything else you'd like to chime in here?
I can't wait for her to start. I just think that her personality is going to draw, I think, like someone said, everyone in. And I think she's going to be someone that our youth really will be able to look up to and trust and be kind of that confidant. I'm really, really excited to get her here.
Me too. All right, Alice, can I put you on the spot? Would you be willing to say a prayer for her?
Oh, sure.
That'd be great.
All right. Father in heaven, Lord, I ask you to, first, I just thank you and I praise your name. And I thank you so much for leading Kacie to us. I'm so excited, and I ask you to guide her steps, to give her encouragement, support, all of the love and warmth and welcome that she needs to feel good and become a good fit for our congregation. And I ask you to help us to guide her along as well, to give her the comfort and support and encouragement that she needs. And Lord, I just thank you for bringing her to us. And I ask that she be a blessing to our congregation, to our children, and that we also be a blessing to her in her life as well. I thank you so much for your amazing love and for your amazing gift of bringing her to our congregation and to our lives. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, good job, team. Well done. Thank you so much on behalf of the church. I'm grateful for you and excited for this next chapter.
That'll do it for our church check-in today. Join us this weekend for worship around our mental health focus, and then the following weekend on Mother's Day, we'll be celebrating women in leadership in the church. We're recognizing 50 years of ordained ministry for women in the ELCA, and that's amazing. So let's celebrate together. We'll leave you with this verse again today, Romans chapter 12, verse 12. Rejoice in hope, be patient in suffering, and persevere in prayer.
So we'll have our next check-in a week from right now, and we invite you to it as we check in with each other, with the church, in ways we can help. And I'll hopefully have some hair gel by then. But until then, be well, know that we care, and keep us in the loop. Let us know if there's something we can do to pray for you or for your loved ones, because we don't want you to feel alone in this. We want you to know you're part of a community of faith that cares. Speaking of which, at the council meeting last week, council member Jay Shanebeck shared about a favorite hymn of his. It's one that one day Timothy Price played after church, and it reminded Jay of when he grew up and his dad used to play that song. And I think it's a helpful song for us in this time, just a closer walk with Thee, to know that Jesus is walking with us. So as we close, may we go in peace and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.